Right, we're on Frost for the second clash between Icredd and Kupermeister. I'd be surprised if we saw a repeat. So in the last game, Icredd went pull first and got 6 lings across the map, followed by more lings, and just flooded those lings into Ben lings, etc. Obviously, Frost is huge. Look at the size of this map. I mean, it is astonishingly large. It's a big map. And you don't know where your opponent is spawning. So to go pull first on this map would simply be a mistake. It would be an error, I feel. I suppose there's always the double bluff to be played, but by the time you get there, your opponent's going to be ready. They're going to be ready for you. It's not going to work. Nobody's got anything in production. Bit weird. Not sure how I feel about that. Not good. But anyway, the hatch is going to come down slightly behind Icredd's, but not any noticeable amount. Both players then just opening hatch. Yeah, I'll be interested to see, because the lings caught Coop completely off guard last time. The Overlord was in a position to see them, but Coop mustn't have been paying attention to that mini-map and didn't spot them coming. And just died. Had he seen them with the Overlord, maybe he could have held, but that's not how it panned out. So can Kupermeister actually make Icredd bleed? Is it possible to make Icredd bleed? Is he actually going to lose any games? We shall see. This is looking like a much more straight up opening, and from what I've seen of Coop, that's going to suit him. He's a reasonably good macro player. His early game mechanics are absolutely fine. So he knows what he's at in terms of getting his economy up and getting his tech moving. But on the flip side, so does Icredd. So at this moment, both players have scouted each other. So they both know that it is cross spawn. They both know the hatchery timings. It's always nice in a mirror matchup. When you scout, you know exactly where your opponent is at because you can reference it to your own structures. So when you see the pool, Icredd's just going to drop the spine crawler here, and Coop not reacting yet. I don't know. Coop, I suppose he has got lings incoming and he has got the queen coming out. Are these lings going to be out in time? I feel like this spine crawler is going to have time to finish up. And just be a bit obnoxious, but probably not get kills. Maybe. You need to reposition the lings. You need to pull them and send them round the back. Because look, there's only one ling actually attacking at present. So you need to tell these lings what to do. Otherwise, they're just going to be goons. Oh, but the spine crawler's targeting the queen. That is utterly useless. So Icredd not paying attention, and this spine crawler is just going to be wasted. Unless it gets the queen, it doesn't. So in the end, it only kills like one ling or something. What he needed to do is, target the workers. He could have, within the time that crawler was up for, could have killed 2, maybe 3 workers, and that would have been much more valuable than one ling, and of course, damaging a queen. But this queen, she's still good. She can still go about her business, and she can scuttle back into the main in due course and live out the rest of her life peacefully. Maybe, I don't know. So no speed in production for Kupermeister. Was it a Kupermeister game previously that I saw that it was very low speed indeed? This Overlord is too deep and is going to die. The Queen's got plenty of creep to walk on here to keep up with it. So that Overlord's going to go down, and that is a mistake. Icredd is now supply blocked, and that is incredibly frustrating. Not only is he supply blocked, look, he doesn't actually have an Overlord in production until just now. So that is going to be a solid supply block for a good minute. And that's a bit painful. At this early point in the game, that is going to allow Coop to squeeze out a bit of a supply lead, although there's no larva being used by Coop right now. There's only queens building and not much else. So okay. Third coming down then for Icredd ahead of Coop, and it's about 4.5 minutes. This is the time you should be dropping that third, and it's up to you. Do you go down here or do you go here? This can be hard to hold because of this, lings can just sprint in from here, but it's pretty easy to to booby trap these bridges and stuff with Benlings and what have you. So yeah, I don't mind the forward position, but it is slightly vulnerable. This is definitely the safer position, much easier to defend, and with your units parked here, you know, or even here, they can come down pretty handily and help. So as a map though, Frost, despite its large size, you know, after your first couple of bases, either third is not an absolute gimme to hold. There's definitely opportunity for run-bys, there's definitely opportunity for harassment. Stuff on the high ground up here, I mean, obviously there's no Terrans here, but, you know, this is a nasty position for a siege tank, isn't it? But yeah, any ranged units on the high ground here, if you get a few Ravagers up here, they can sneak in there unseen and throw down corrosive balls on the entire mineral line. So a lot of opportunity to muck about and harangue and harass your opponent. If he knew it, Kupermeister could walk across the map right now and end this game. He has got a substantial army lead. Icredd doesn't appear to know that he's up against roaches because he's still building Benlings, and Benlings just are not what you need against roaches. So yeah, with the later third, Kup has got substantially larger army, but is he going to realize in time to make benefit of that? Roach speed just finishing up. You know, notice that 1-1's being researched. Now obviously you're not going to go and engage before 1-1 finishes. If you're halfway through it, that would be weird. So I wouldn't be too shocked to see one more round of roaches join this and then a big march across the map. Are these roaches? They are hydras that are going. Oh, and lings? I don't know about the lings, Coop. Was that a gas shortage? You just didn't have the gas? I'd have much preferred roaches. Not even sure about the hydras so much because you're up against Benlings. Although maybe you don't know that. But yeah, I'd have preferred roaches. You know, you're about to have 1-1 ranged attack, but you're building lings that don't benefit from that. Anyway, you know, based on army size, Cooper should smash this. But if there's Bentlings in the mix, his lings are going to be worthless. With that said, there are Mutalisks building. There's plenty of opportunity for Mutalist harass on this map, but Coop is already building Hydras, I think. Yes, he is. So, you know, in a straight up fight, those Mutalisks aren't going to do great, and of course Coop's got the Ravagers for the corrosive bile, so the Mutas definitely can't stand and fight. But Coop, time's running out. Your opponent has a significant base advantage. You know, the third is mining much more. Icredd supply blocked again and is going to lose this Overlord too by the looks of things. Now is the time, Coop. One more big old round of units about to join these. 1-1 is finished up, but has started 2-2. I don't understand what we're waiting for. You know, if you continue to think like, oh, but in a minute I'll have this and in a minute I'll have that, you'll never attack. There's always something you're going to have in another minute till you get to like the 20-minute mark and you've got every upgrade in the whole game and you're at 200 supply. You've got to pull the trigger sooner or later. And the longer this runs, the less well it is going to go. So more Mutalisks in production has kept them hidden so far, and I'm not sure this is enough Mutalisks now. I'd prefer these Mutalisks to be on the other side of the map doing damage rather than pulling them at home. So now Icredd decides to move them out. There should be a couple more joining it. They are misrallied. They're going to join the units over here, but Coop sees it coming. So the Overlord has spotted it. I'd love to see some Spore Crawlers be dropped, Coop. As it is, he's going to move his units across. There's not that many Hydras in the mix here, but there are a lot of Roaches that can tank the splash damage. In a weird way, having Roaches next to your other stuff helps against Mutalisks because the rebound splash damage hits the Roaches and does roughly nothing. Oh, I see red. That is awkward. 4 Mutas for free. That's painful. That's 400. Don't think that doesn't hurt. That absolutely hurts. What just happened that I missed there? It's just an Overlord flying in. So you know, base count wise, the 5th coming down for Icredd, and as you know, as I keep saying, Coop is going to run out of time if he isn't careful. It's now Coop's turn to be supply blocked by losing an Overlord. Neither of these players, I don't think, have researched speed, and I would like them both to. Coop is going to lose another Overlord here, making this a deep supply block. And look, only Hydras in production. These Hydras are going to come out just in the nick of time if they turn around and fight. But where were the Spore Crawlers? You knew the Mutalisks were coming. You didn't build a single Spore. So all, you know, no, what's the point? You know, these are going to come in here and the Mutalisks are just going to run. You've already lost the workers. Oh my goodness, the Mutalisks are going to run, right? Icredd, no, don't do it. Another 3 Mutalisks for literally nothing. Those were free. Yeah, they'd killed a lot of workers, but they could have left, you know. They could have and should have left at that point. Coop, you need to pull the trigger. Always bear in mind when you're playing against Mutalisks that they're pointless in a fight. You know, they're great at coming in and killing your mineral line when you're not there. Every time your back's turned, they're going to come in and kill your mineral lines. So say to yourself, if he's got 30 supply of Mutalisks, that's 30 supply of army that in a straight up fight isn't going to do anything. The only other thing Icredd has got is these lings, and look how many, you know, roaches there are here. There's enough roaches, there's enough Hydras to walk through those lings like they're butter. Could just pull that trigger, because, you know, running backward and forward in your own base trying to defend against these Mutalisks, you'll be doing that all day. There's gonna be banelings. Is there speed? Yeah, there is speed. So banelings can be savage against these Hydras, absolutely savage. Coop has to be a bit careful. The roaches need to be in front, Coop. You need the roaches at the front. They're the armored things. That's what they're good at. Oh, but if the Bens get trapped here, unfortunate that those corrosive balls were coming down on a building that can't even run. I don't know about that at all. The banelings are chewing through Hydras. How many Hydras are left? 3. A grim engagement. You know, the corrosive balls on that ramp as the lings and bens were coming down it would have utterly changed the face of that engagement. But no, Coop was intent on killing a building. You know, when you're in these positions, guys, kill the units first. The building isn't going anywhere. It isn't going to run. It isn't going to come back and fight another day. Once you've killed the units, you can then kill the building. But don't let your, you know, that is one of the reasons why when you're playing in StarCraft, you choose to fight near your own buildings. You pull your enemy in so that the AI will shoot the nearest thing and waste firepower shooting your buildings. Buildings have so much hit points. You know, that's what you want them to do. You want your opponent to be shooting the building, not your units, so that your units can kill theirs while they're just wasting shots on trying to hit a hatchery or something. So, you know, don't make it easier for them. Save those corrosive balls for killing units. That's what they're good at. With the splash damage, that's what they do incredibly well. You know, corrosive balls on lings, bens, absolutely annihilate them. But how much difference does it make to how quickly you're going to kill a hatchery? Not much. So this time the roaches are on the right side and do soak up most of the benling hits. So this is good. Is there enough Hydra left over to kill these mutas? I don't know that there is. With a little bit of focus fire, the Hydras are going to trade well, though, and there's not that many Mutalisks left. Are there any Queens left that Coop can pull in here? There are a couple, but they don't appear to be moving. No kind of sign that they're going to help out in this fight. Army supply is in Coop's advantage. How much of it is in production, though? 7 Hydralisks are about to join the fray, and that's more than enough to chase these Hydras away. These mutas away. I see Red sticking with lings, and I'm not sure I agree with it. You know, Coop has just witnessed with his eyes how effective these roaches are at tanking against those benling hits, and that just makes that engagement so inefficient. You know, don't forget, when you're playing against benlings and they're obliterating your stuff and you think, man, those benlings are broken, don't forget how expensive they are. You know, that they are expensive little suicide bombers. They're not free. And when you're obliterating your own units in that way, when you're suiciding in your benlings to remove a little bit of health from these roaches, which they will regen, You know, that's not something you want to be doing. Now, I don't know if Coop has got burrow. Doesn't look like he has. Should get it. Top tip if you are playing roaches: burrowed roaches regenerate health twice as quickly as unburrowed. They regenerate health really, really quickly when they're burrowed. So what you want to do is, after engages like this, your damaged roaches, or even during engagements, you know, if you've got the micro capacity to do it during the fight, just be clicking on the most weakened roaches and just burrow them one at a time. And that health comes back alarmingly quickly. Now, 3-3 is about to finish up, and let's have a look at these upgrades. As 3-3 finishes up, what has Icredd got compared to that? He's got +2 on the flyers, and he's got 1-1 for that Ling then. So, you know, 3-3 against 1-1 is ugly. That will really allow that extra armor on these roaches is just going to make the Lings essentially slide off them like water. 3-3 roaches are not going to die to 1-1 Lings. It's as simple as that. Now, the Benlings will help, the Mutas will help, but ultimately this is a better army that Kupermeister's got, and he's got a good angle. Now, Icredd finally bringing some roaches in, but presumably these are 0-0 roaches, and they're going to get munched. So does need a little bit of micro to be happening here. The Hydras are shooting roaches, which is unfortunate. Really, you want your roaches shooting the roaches, and the Hydras, only Mutalisks left now. So, kind of as predicted, Kupermeister's upgrade advantage chews through Icredd's entire army. Now is the time, Kupermeister. You've got an army still. Your opponent's army has just been leveled. Hold down that roach button. Hold down the Hydra button. You know, march across this map. Benlings trying to get into the action, but aren't in big enough numbers to actually make it through. Corruptors coming in to deal with the Mutalisks as well. I'm not sure that I like it. You know, you've got Hydras already. Why do you need Corruptors? Unclear. The Queens are making a final stand, but I think Icredd is done. 26 Lings in production, but these roaches will mock those Lings. They don't care. Those Lings, you know, +1 Lings coming at 3-3 roaches? No way, man. The roaches will mock them. The Lings just won't even hurt them. Now, they will, of course, hurt the Hydras without that armor, but there's enough roach here, and with the Corruptors, he doesn't need the Hydras anymore, arguably. So, it turns out he can bleed. It looks very suspiciously like Kupermeister is going to take this. The only thing building are Lings, and Lings, as Icredd full well knows, are not going to win this game for him. No amount of Lings beats that. No amount. You know, you get a 200 supply of Lings surrounding that. Maybe with adrenal glands and 3-3 Lings. Yeah, sure, cracklings. But these aren't. These are 1-1 Lings, and they're just not going to do it, I'm afraid. So he's going to go back and polish off the pull, and that does mean that now the only thing that Icredd can build are Mutalisks and Corruptors. And with Hydras on the ground, neither of those sounds like a great choice. So there's no pull in production, and that is a sure sign that Icredd is just kind of trying to figure out how to type GG. You know what I mean? He is going to try and counter with these Lings. It's not. Oh, the poor Hydras are going to get caught out by this, and that's a bit nasty. But you know, what's the follow-up? Icredd. I mean, yeah, you're going to get some Hydras for free, and that's great. For some reason, Coop pulling his whole army back to deal with this tiny handful of Lings. There it is. There's the GG, and Kupermeister puts a couple of points on the board. Happy days.